and welcome back to the channel. And today I have this old OrbitKey that I modified years ago, and it's been through a lot, as you can see. I thought I'd just renovate this up and make it look brand new again. OrbitKey was kind enough to set me up with a new of these hardware locking key holder pins, as the old one has seen better times, as you can see. Not sure, they don't sell these, so they arranged some, they had some laying around still, as this is the first generation. They used aluminium for the hardware, which on the second generation is now stainless steel for obvious reasons, as aluminium is too soft to carry keys for years. Let's see if we can get some focus, that the threads have been almost eaten up here. So yeah, that's why we are going to fix it up. So let's take everything and just put this aside and focus on this. I need to separate these metal parts from the leather, because the leather is going to be replaced. And if you wonder why I've done this to it, it's because at one point I lived in an apartment with an abnormally long key, so it didn't fit in the standard. It was longer than a standard key, so it didn't fit. So I cut this open and added some leather and just added this piece as well for them, so the keys only had one way to come out, and I really enjoyed that. So I wish OrbitKey would offer one version with leather on one side, but that's for another story. Now we need to take this is riveted in. The stainless steel part here is riveted into the aluminium part here, and on this side I've slowly pried this riveted part upwards, so it should be able to be pushed through. Let's see if I can get it done. Like so. So I need to do the same on the other side. They also have one of these locking holes to prevent this from spinning. That's great. I'll add that to my leather piece. Let's see, it was a while since I started on this project, so not sure how I did. Okay, there we go. I'm slowly just going around, pulling up on the riveted part. Okay, so I finally got that apart as well. Let's hope these can go back together once. After that, I think it's nope, but I think it's gonna work. Now let's measure how long we need this to be. I think I'm gonna go with my extended size, which is 16.5 centimeters. So let's bring out the leather I'm gonna use for this. I have this rich brown, really nice leather. It's slightly thicker. Okay, it's almost 2 centimeters. I will just mark the end here. I'm going to mark 19 millimeters on 4 places. centimeters. We are. Perfect. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, that's all right. Now we need to round the corners. Okay, so this little key ring is almost perfect. That's good enough. Let's do the same to the other side. So both sides are done. Let's just clean up the desk a little bit. Now you know why I have this. I think I will start here, stitch all the way and finish there. And I'll start there and stitch and finish there. So the ends of the stitches will be on either side here, covered by this later on. So let's just mark out the stitch line. Okay, and that looks pretty sweet. Let's mark all the holes and get stitching. I'm not gonna bore you with every mark and every hole that I make, so I'll just either fast forward or just cut here and it'll... So putting in the last holes. And yes, I do punch each and every hole. Full control, baby, full control. Just like that. This is coming out much nicer than I thought it would. But we have a long way to go. I was initially thinking green. But let's continue and stitch this up. And I will not show you the entire stitching process. That will be like an hour's video on its own. But I've decided to go with the green. I think it will looking sweet against the brown. A little bit of beeswax on the threads, and we're good to go. So if you watch previous videos I've made, you've seen this before. Just stitching away. The key to a good stitch line is consistency. Consistency. Even spacing, straight lines, pull the same on each stitch. It will look beautiful. So I will spare you from watching me stitch this whole piece. And I will let you see when I do the last stitches. I think this is gonna, I hope this comes out as good on camera as it does to my eyes. I think this is gonna be looking beautiful. So see you in a bit. I usually finish the stitch line by doing a few back stitches. And on the back stitches I leave the loops on both threads, or both sides. It's the same thread. And I will just thread it through there, so it's creating a knot inside the hole. And I will do one more and then I'm done. It's really tight having like 4 threads in each hole, but it's only for a few stitches in the end. Perfect. Let's treat the edges before we make any holes. It's time for the most important part of edge treating, the tokonol. That is a game changer. Promise you that. And after tokonol, you take a little bit of beeswax, rub it on the edge, and some cotton fabric. And with friction, you rub that beeswax into the fibers of the leather, sealing up everything for a perfectly smooth finish. I'm going to have to get this very much in the center. You get something like that. Okay, I just took the knife and carved out the small hole there. Let's see if it works. So, yeah, That's a snap we want. Look, would you look at that? It looks fantastic. I brought the OrbitKey to the drill. Didn't want to take the drill inside to the desk. So let's see if I can run this in reverse to spread out the metal. Yeah, I think that worked. I'm gonna go on this side as well, and then we'll switch to a larger drill bit. This will either make or break this. Lastly, I will tap on it with a hammer on something that can just spread it out the last piece. I'm going to try to hit it with this strangely shaped screw. If everything goes back together like this, I'd say that's a success. It's now time to assemble the OrbitKey that I've more or less made myself or renovated, restored to its former glory. I think it came out really well. So let's put the things back together. And ironically enough, I now have abnormally short keys. I had to find some keys that doesn't go anywhere. And these happen to be super short. So let's see if we can do this without everything falling apart. Okay, would you look at that? It's working just as expected, even though I have the short keys here. Just don't mind that. So I hope you enjoyed this video about me restoring this OrbitKey Generation 1 to its former glory. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.